Greetings, you all. Happy Monday. Oh, and guess what? We just had a new moon in Gemini, which is so incredible. But all of this stuff is always incredible to me, so I know I'm not saying anything new. So, good morning, Lindsay. How are you? Afternoon. And I realize today is what people call a holiday, but I don't really celebrate any of these holidays, honestly. So yeah, that's just my story about it. But today, the moon is in Gemini and the sun is in Gemini. Gemini is the energy of your perception. You guys, I talked about this yesterday because the sun was in Gemini. And our perception, our perceived reality, how we perceive reality is the story that we tell about a particular experience. So whatever it is that we're telling ourselves about something is what we're actually telling the universe how we want to experience it. So in this new moon energy, this new moon came in at the ninth degree, and it came in at the, let's see, hold on a second, I'm sorry. Ninth degree, the daily list today, it came in at 4 a.m. Oh, so it came in on a Venus hour. Oh, that's so good. Yay, I'm so grateful that the moon came in on a Venus hour, because Venus is about restoring ourselves. So this energy is about restoring the power of your reception, the power of your mind. Now, here's the thing. These powers are never turned off. They just sort of, what do I want to say? Feminine energy is invisible energy, and it runs through the subconscious. And our thoughts are happening and we are experiencing them, but nobody sees them. Our thoughts don't get seen until we take an action, right? So every now and again, we need to renew. Once a year, at the new moon in Gemini, we need to renew. We get to renew the power of our perception, which is the story that we're telling about our experience, right? And so we had a new moon that came in at the ninth degree, which is the degree of awareness. And awareness is the key to your creating your reality. Now, most of us do things subconsciously. We're unaware, right? So your heart is beating right now. You're probably not aware of it. You're not aware that you have 7 trillion cells that are all organizing for you to be healthy. You're probably not aware that your heart is beating blood all through your body all day long. This is the subconscious. You're not aware that you're taking in air and then your lungs are opening it up and your blood is filled. You're not aware of this stuff. But most of us are not even aware of our thoughts and our actions and why we do things. And the work is to become aware, to actually grow in awareness. And in order to grow in awareness, you have to begin to do things so that you can experience your subconscious power. So for me, for instance, when I wanted to really understand my connection to the invisible, I started asking Spirit for evidence. Okay, like you're telling me this thing, like I might hear the voice inside of myself say, call somebody up right now, a particular person, and give them this information. But it's easy to doubt it because it's only happening in my head. So what I will say is, if this is real and you want me to do this, I will see a hummingbird in the next 30 minutes or the next 15 minutes. And if I don't see it, then it's not really what I need. But usually I will see it. And that is the connection from the subconscious, the internal reality, to the external. So you get a download and it's like, okay, Spirit, if this is true, then such and such and such is going to call me. I remember one time I was in a medicine ceremony and Spirit gave me some really interesting wisdom. And I was like, oh, this is too much. I cannot share this with people. But if this is true, this particular person, I just named one of my girlfriends. One of my girlfriends is going to call me, and she's going to bring this up. And sure enough, after the medicine ceremony, the very next day, she texted me and she was like, "What's going on? You've been on my mind so much. What's happening? And that was the affirmation that subconscious internal experience that I had was real, and what I was being told to do, that person was the confirmation that is exactly what I need to do. And so what I'm trying to point out here is that we have a relationship with the invisible world. The invisible world is entirely alive. And when we are able to begin to relate to it and trust it and allow it and be led and directed, and we take the information and we take the wisdom and we trust it, then and only then are we beginning to become aware. We're developing our awareness of the invisible. We're developing our connection, and that the invisible is alive. Now, here's the thing. A lot of people don't have access to this. This is really a superpower. You know, when you hear people say stuff like, there is no God, you know, there is nothing in the invisible, it doesn't matter what you feel. Like, those are people who don't have access to this level of consciousness. And those people are the people who run the world. Or they're pretending like they don't have access to it. You know, it's like people who will look at another group of people and say they're less than, because they don't understand, they don't have a connection to the invisible, unseen realities. They don't realize that everything is alive. The sun is alive. The earth is alive. The trees are alive. The birds are alive. That's why they can harm them. That's why they can kill animals. And here's the thing, and I'm not suggesting, because I don't want to get into the whole food thing and eating and all that sort of stuff. Because there are cultures, there are indigenous cultures who in all of their understanding of oneness make everything sacred, right? So if they're going to kill an animal to eat it, they will bless it and give thanks and understand that there is a process that is of honoring a system, right? But for people who don't really understand the invisible reality, they don't do it from a space of honoring. They literally don't have a connection that is aligned enough to experience the evidence of the unseen world. And so the power within this is that when you begin to communicate with the invisible, right? So, you know, for me, I also will, whenever I might be thinking of something, and then a raven will fly over my house and make a sound. And so that's the invisible world. That's nature colliding with my reality and giving me information at the time that I need it, right? So whatever I'm thinking about, I'll hear that crow or that raven, and I understand that a crow or a raven is power. So then I know, like, oh, that's the universe connecting to me. So what we want to really be able to do is understand that our awareness, our perception, our perspectives are all cultivated through our own internal reality. But the more that we can connect it to the external, the more that we really then can begin to knit a new reality together. And this is all an invisible internal experience initially, as above, that's the internal part, and then so below. And then it becomes an external thing that shows up in your reality. I don't know if this makes sense. If it makes sense, give me some hearts, because I feel like I'm talking about something that's very ephemeral, and I'm not sure that it's landing. And so with Gemini, okay, so there are no hearts, so I'm not making any sense. Okay, great. So with Gemini and our perceived reality, with the new moon. And okay, great. Thank you. Okay, great. So with Gemini, we just had a new moon in Gemini, and it came in the Venus hour, and it came in on the 9th degree. So what we really are doing is we are creating new perceived realities. And we are seeding this reality at this time in the new moon. And how do you do this? Because Gemini is about our spoken word, it's about communication, it's about and our awareness of our ability to be able to speak things into existence, to be able to hear the call of the internal world, the divine, and then connect that to an external experience. That's what we're doing. And so with the energy of Gemini, it's really simple. It's Legend of the 33rd Sage, Story of the Initiate. Oh, I don't know that. I'm not familiar with that. Okay, I'm going to go check that out. So what we want to do is we want to really just be writing out. Like you ask Spirit, what is it that I'm here for? Your spirit. Spirit is you. It is your mind, your subconscious, your power. How is it that I am to use this energy? How is it? And then when you get the downloads, you write it down. I'm doing this, I'm doing that, I'm doing this, I'm doing that, right? You write it out. And then you ask, if this is accurate, give me a sign. And when you get a sign, whatever your sign is, for me, sometimes my signs have been white butterflies or yellow butterflies or hummingbirds, whatever it is, such and such will call me, or whatever it is, you write it down. And then when you get the affirmation that what you've been told is accurate through some external connection, right? Because Gemini is mental, Gemini is air, right? So when you have an experience of the validation of what it is you're being told, then you are strengthening your connection, right? Because here's the thing. Sagittarius, which is where the full moon is about our faith. So what we're doing is building our faith between now and the full moon through your perceived reality and your awareness to the invisible. You want to create the evidence so that you actually build your strength, your confidence, and your faith in your ability to create the new world, the new reality that you are here to responsible for. You want to be responsible for it, and you're weaving a reality in your consciousness that will then show up externally. I call forth source. Heron sitting in front of me, and a blackbird just flew by. I give thanks. Yes, because it's all alive and it's all connected and it's all fucking magic. And when you can begin to use this power and become confident in it, right? And become confident in it, then you will be able to send messages and experiences. This is high energy, you all. This is high alchemy. Like, I use this energy to create anything that I desire, right? And one of the things that I desire to create is people who are doing harm to others, that they would begin to experience their own intentions towards others in their own lives. People who harm other people because they're a different race, or because they're a different gender, or because they have a different economic status, whatever industry they're in, that they would begin to be trapped in their own harm for others, and that harm will become right back to them. This is how we break down the structures. This is how we end the systems. And first off, knowing that I am surrounded by light and protected, that nothing can touch me. Nothing can come nigh my dwelling place that would do any harm to me. And because my energy is becoming so much more perfected, it's my desire to use my power through understanding my natal chart and my karma to unravel the ways that I have participated. And as I unravel the ways that I have unconsciously participated from this moment backwards, then any ways that I participated, that power comes back to me. And any ways that I have been unconsciously fueling others with my power, there becomes a lapse in what they were pulling from me, right? And this is not for just this lifetime, but for every lifetime that I've ever lived. And it's important that we understand, especially those who are women, and especially those who are in Black women's bodies, that we have spent many lifetimes being the source of fuel and power for others without even recognizing that we're doing it. So the more that we begin to unplug ourselves from systems that we have relied upon, believing that those were our power sources, and plug ourselves into our own divine, universal experience of consciousness and love to the sun, to the earth, right? Then our subconscious power begins to grow. Now, here's what I want to say. This is when they talk about the Salem witch trials, this is why they killed women, because women had subconscious power. You could actually send something to a person without them, and it would run interference in everything they were doing. So they started killing women because women, that's how women were dominating the force. And because they were men, they don't have subconscious power the way women have subconscious power. They have physical power. But physical power and subconscious power are really no match for one another when a woman is anchored in her subconscious power. Because the elements will come for you. The elements. How can you beat the wind? How can you beat the ocean? How can you beat the weather? You cannot. You can't shoot it. You can't kill it. Do you understand what I'm saying here? Okay? So it's important for us to come back into our subconscious dominance so that we can, and here's the thing, you have to use it from a space of love for yourself. Love. If you're using it from a place of fear, if you're using it from a place of fear, then you will bring onto you what you are calling for others. You have to use it from a place of love for yourself. And when you are, it will work on your behalf. And people's thing, they're trying to work things out against you, they can't. Nothing can come nigh your dwelling place. You understand what I'm saying? Subconscious dominance. So in this new moon energy in Gemini rules the mind, the story we're telling, our awareness, our conscious awareness. You want to set an intention for the highest level of consciousness and the highest level of awareness that you are capable of accessing at this time with as much grace and ease as possible. The moon rules the day, and the moon governs our subconscious reality. The moon is the governor of our internal world. So you want to build your subconscious to be strong, confident, powerful, in service to something greater than yourself, in service to love, in service to the well-being of not just yourself, but the planet. And even those who don't know, because they're lost, right? But that doesn't mean that people don't get to experience their own stuff, right? So you don't want to protect people from their stuff, but you want to know that you are protected from their stuff. And whatever they are intending for you just comes back to them. It's as simple as that. All right, you all. The Saturn Retrograde class begins on the 4th of June. Saturn Retrograde is the class that I have designed to help us really break free from curses, karmic binds that our families and our generations of us have been in for hundreds of years. And here's what I want to say this stuff shows up as. It shows up as self-doubt. It shows up as being stuck and not able to live the life that you feel like you're supposed to live. It shows up as not being able to be in the fulfillment of your power in the way that you sense that your power should be able to work. It shows up as being caught in patterns that you cannot seem to get yourself out of. That patterns that your mother is in, your grandmother is in, all of that sort of stuff. Many of us have, for centuries, have been in spaces with women who are afraid of our own sexuality, afraid of our own power, feeling like how we feel inside of our bodies and what we need and desire is wrong because it's a sin, right? All of that sort of stuff. That is the shit that needs to be healed and transformed, because it's important for us to realize that we are under the conditioning of the Western world, which was built to satisfy and empower white men. So most of our thoughts are about money and not having enough, or love and needing a husband and, I need more. All of that is all white male dominant mindsets that have us doubt ourselves and doubt our feelings and not trust ourselves and not understand our faith and not be aware and fearful of our own power. All of that. And those are the things that this Saturn retrograde class is going to support us in undoing and unraveling, so that we can begin to move with our power in ways that allow us to experience ourselves as the goddess presence on the planet. Saturn rules the earth realm, cause and effect. And so we have to undo. It's important to realize that many of us have hundreds of years of cause and effect in place that has us running in systems that are outdated. And when you get yourself into alignment and do the rituals that I've designed, not that I've designed, the spirit that I downloaded for us to do in this cycle, in this Saturn's retrograde, because it's in between the Scorpio Eclipse cycle. We just had a Scorpio Eclipse. We're going to have another Scorpio Eclipse in 6 months. Because this class is in between the Scorpio Eclipse, which is about power, our lineage, the things we inherit from our families, this is the time to unravel it and build it up anew, to shift the powers, right? To shift the polarities. So you can sign up for this class. If you need the link, you can look at my profile link. I have a option for you to register, and it's $330. And it's from June 4th to October 28th. And if you need to break that payment up, I can send you the link so you can break that payment up and not have to pay it in one lump sum. But if you can pay it in one lump sum, pay it in one lump sum and get it over with. All right, you all. I love you guys very much. And I'm just so excited because the universe is so blessed in caring for the people who are here to do the work to heal. Because when we heal ourselves, we heal everyone around us. We heal 7 generations forward, 7 generations back. We heal the earth. We heal the oceans through our own subconscious power, because you begin to understand the law of oneness. And that is what I'm here to teach us how to do. So thank you all. I love you guys very much. Have a really beautiful day. I'm the Moon Mama. I'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.